In terms of death cults, the Dark Brotherhood does have some sense of order and benevolent conviction.
Are you feeling sick? Let me know if there's anything else you need.
You alright?
Is there ever a smile to be found among the guard? The gloom. The east is behind you. Live it up and enjoy Evermore.
I just can't get used to it. Evermore has become so wealthy. If you saw this city some 30 years ago, you would have thought that a dragon break had taken place.
Oh,
It's just not natural to change so suddenly.
Good morning.
Where did all the wealth come from? Why is the Reach so distinct, like an ever-pervading squalor that you...
Until
You were
next
with the
time.
Imperials at the outpost, right? Killed all those
40
damn
feet
orcs
of
off?
solid
I hope you made 'em
stone
suffer.
power to separate us from that despairing land. Force the world's woes from your mind and relax. Besides, this disparity cannot be contended. Our privileges are irrelevant.
Come for aid? Oh, these weary eyes mistook you for another pilgrim. Yes, I have heard of you already. The priest has sung nothing but praise for your name. And lest we slip into bad habits, that town is called Raven Spring. Our Nima is an alien moniker, almost sinister. Before I lose myself, Mortavane, that perennial question that hasn't found an answer until now. Sigmane has finally realized his madness for himself. Not that it wasn't apparent for those subjugated to the Mud Lord, but their cries fell on deaf ears. Almost 3 decades of tyranny, with so much cruelty, It would be a great folly to continue dismissing it. There comes a time when the evidence transforms rumor to reality. Just the nature of her relation with Mortafane is a mystery. What could possibly be derived from that despairing entity? The priests have been worried about Daedric plots for some time, yet most were confined to individual victims. However, the reports we hold on Mortafane conform to a far grander scheme. A plot targeted at Adamantia itself. It has many names, holding its own unique value to every culture. Now that tower happens to be one of the last. Others across Tamriel have since been destroyed or made dysfunctional. Compounded with the waning liminal barrier that separates us from Oblivion itself, we have a recipe for disaster. It seems Martin's sacrifice 200 years ago did not make certain our survival. Pardon me, a week of thorough education would be needed to broach that subject. Such sheer complexity would surely distract us from this most urgent matter. What you need to know is that whatever is happening in Raven Spring can spell a doom unseen since the beginning of our times. Worst comes to worst, we have a strategy to prevent complete chaos descending onto this kingdom. Knowledge from the Oblivion crisis has been instilled in every priest's mind, in case it may ever transpire again. I shouldn't delay you any further. Horrorster was seen departing from Raven Spring with his party. They'll be convening with Morosa before ousting Mortafane from his throne. You should hurry. Your presence may halt tensions from boiling over. The Divide has yet to deal with that matter. What happened to the mercenaries they hired? Yes, figures. The dead seem to be where the threshold lies when it comes to their work. Though now a more startling revelation has come to the fore. That those dark mages not only inhabit the hidden crannies of the East, but on our very doorstep. If you can recall the Divide's priest, an elderly gentleman named Feinig, he was the one who made us aware that their devious ilk have made themselves our neighbors. Right under our noses, as Feinig stated. Though with further inspection, a correction had to be made, for they exist above, occupying the frozen rubble heap of Spinster's Peak. A near-ancient rebel fort, built by our feuding forebears, probably making the capital of many bygone kingdoms. Yet when the Empire had sought to partition High Rock for its own means, those kingdoms of yore were dissolved, razing their respective capitals. Now these ruins shelter only the wretched of our land. Normally those of petty repute will get to them first, but when they don't, more sinister parties will fill their decrepit halls, as has been seen with past necromancer cults. I advise great caution on this expedition. Necromancers are the most dangerous foe. Audacious displays will be your undoing. That's not to dissuade you from your journey, as your eagerness itself is a sign of immense bravery. Pray before heading out. The gods will be needed in this perilous task. Make preparations to shield yourself from their magic too, or else your chances are slim. I'll make a prayer so that the gods may watch over you. Of course. Such devastation warrants the most thorough contingency plans in case of it happening again. And we are not quite assured by the words of those from Cyrodiil, and that the barrier was sealed by Morton's great sacrifice within their capital. Better safe than sorry. Death had become life in those long nights following the calamity. Suffering had percolated into every corner of our province. Destruction so total that no kingdom could muster the forces to invade another. There was a glimmer of hope, however. Heroes who battled back the demons within their own wretched hellscape had brought us invaluable information. We had heroes spanning from border to border within High Rock, but none so inspiring to the Reachmen than the daring trio who graced us. A band of mettlesome paragons, each with their respective craft. He who mastered blade and shield, she who weaved wicked sorcery, and he whose speed was unparalleled. The warrior and the mage had relented against Dagon's terrible onslaught, not giving an inch to the Red Horde, while the rogue had slipped past their ranks and went on the most perilous journey any mortal could embark. That is what the tomes show, right into the heart of their dark army, to the peak of their tower, ripping the stone from its socket, and from what we could infer, without notice. Upon the tower's collapse, the demon horde fell and the gates had congealed. The rogue was never seen again after that valiant feat. We've commemorated his role in our defense, as honor dictates. His effigy stands at Reach's rest. Now their legacy lives on in their knowledge that we have taught to the militia in the event that another crisis spills into our realm. Learning requires discipline and patience, skills that I alone cannot teach you. Yet I can help with the rest. Good fortunes.
Nice clothes. Doesn't it feel better to be able to move freely? Casually?
It's time, priest. I hope Mortiphane has prepared for a life with the beggars. Sigmain and the council made it clear. Mortiphane cannot rule. The putrid man has the gall to ignore the will of the king. Where is he, priest?
Pardon, our lord. I'll ask him the details in a moment. He'll be with us shortly.
The Hagrias are ahead at last. So you finally had your way with the king. Why do you persist to harass me, Vulture?
Horster here will see to your death if you try anything rash, little lord. You have stained the kingdom of Evermore with your ill acts. Your capturing of trade goods and intimidation of merchants have brought ruin to your town and
Wow.
the reach.
The soil
Your
here
rights
really
as
is
royalty
fertile.
are now
I mean, look at the yield of this farm.
You can place a new ass on that seat tomorrow, but the town itself belongs to no man now. Sigmain and the rest of the Reach now belong to her.
To whom, my lord?
This madman has rambled long enough. Arrest him and bring him to trial in Evermore. My stomach reels at the sight of him.
Your stomachs were real when you see the lady, I assure you. I showed mercy upon you insects. I relented
Sorry.
when the lady demanded this town. But I see the rats have bit the hand that feeds. We're the first to taste her domain, whore.
Don't let him run.
We have no time for this. You're just delaying the inevitable.
Shut it, cunts. The Order's done us good. Runts to kill every day and hills of gold. Can't say the same for the King. You want his name, then we got a problem. And the only way I see an end to that problem is you fucking off in a coffin or through that gate.
Sec, stand aside. Do you want this town to become a gauntlet for that insane lord?
9 lock my heart. The sky.
What abyssal sorcery is this?
Someone there.